What movie is this from? Alright, I don't want to bore you with any more. It's a song I wrote. It's a long instrumental. A lot of chords like that. Turn everything off here. Quiet it down. Hello everyone, Beating from the bedroom here. To speak about this Jackson shred machine. Look at that. Yeah, it's got the alien green to it. That's why I did the intro. For what movie? Leave it in the comments if you know. This is a Jackson, made in Korea, 2019. Three-piece maple neck, standard Jackson tuners, because it doesn't matter what kind of tuners are on there because it's got a locking nut. Yeah, raised plastic Jackson logo. Almost like the kind of, if you buy a car and it says Chevy or Ford on it, you know, it's got this raised logo on it, which is really cool instead of just having a decal. Ebony fingerboard. You know I love my ebony fingerboards. 24, jumbo fret, nickel. So yes, you have to clean it every once in a while. You got to take a 4-0 grit stainless steel and clean the fingerboard, and then put a little dab of oil, a little dab will do you. The three-piece maple neck is satin finish. It's nice and smooth. Believe it or not, it's got rolled frets on here that are super smooth. I mean, if you go up and down the neck, you're not going to get caught. You're not going to get snagged on anything. It's not even catching my ring, and I'm trying to do that intentionally to get that that ring kind of going down the neck. But I do apologize because I do forget the kind of wood they use for the body. But if anyone that's looking into these, they would know. But it's got the wood grain where you could feel it, and I just think it's awesome. It's got a 4-bolt on neck to the body, and you can see this is contoured where this is fatter and this thins out. Then you have this notch down here, so you could really get your hand in there, and again, boom, you're right there. So that's pretty cool the way that is contoured. A lot of guitars are going that way, in that direction now. The Ibanez and even the Harley Bentons are starting to follow suit on that, which I think is great. I keep the plate on, but I've only got 2 screws in it because it doesn't have the screwdriver slot, so you can adjust it. Anyone that has a Floyd Rose knows that it's just something that you have to deal with, and it's part of life, and get used to it. And just like the first Floyd Rose guitar that you have, you're like, this is cool, all the strings are hanging off and you can do all this crazy stuff. Then when it comes to changing the strings, you're like, oh, what do I do now? Luckily, this guy Mike Lusso, he had a guitar store in Miller Place, Long Island. He was a shred monster on the guitar, and a master technician. And he trained me. He taught me. I hung around his store a lot, bought a lot of guitars off of him, and he basically taught me how to do a complete setup with a Floyd Rose. And when I tell you, just for shits and giggles, one day I think I timed him, and he had a complete setup all the strings off at one time within like 9 minutes. And yeah, he knows he was being timed, and he was on the clock, and he banged it out in like 9 minutes. So impressive, yes, I think so. I've got the wide buttons on here, front and back, which is good because I don't know if I've ever shown this before, but on my guitar strap, I don't use strap locks anymore. I used to put them on all my guitars, and all the guitars I had them on, I don't have them anymore. So I wasted my time and my money. So when you have the strap on with the cord in between, the cord tends to pull the strap off. To avoid that, I put the cord through where this belt part that you can adjust for the height. If you want it high, you want it low. I put the cord right through there, and then the top part goes to the amp. The one facing down goes in my guitar. This way here, it's not gonna be between the strap and the button and risk, popping it off, which has happened. That's why I've done that. So, pickup configuration. These are Seymour Duncan, and in my opinion, Seymour Duncan are the best pickups ever. Again, that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. You have a 5-way. So, at the risk of argument, and again, you could leave in the comments, I believe it should go from top to bottom, So I would say number 1 position, number 5 position. What do you think about that? So number 1 position, you have humbucker. Number 2 position, you have the inside pickup. Why? I don't know why. I'd rather it be the outside pickup, closer to the neck, in my personal opinion. The 2, you have these two together. They sound like crud. Even when you split it right here, it sounds like crud. 4th position, you split it, it's the inside pickup. Again, why isn't it the outside pickup, closer to the bridge? I think it would be louder, hotter, sound better. But no, it's the inside. And they sound like glass. Thin, tinny glass pickups. 5th one, humbucker. So, in the grand scheme of things, I only go from the bridge to the neck. Even on my LPs, where the middle is supposed to be 2 humbuckers in parallel series or out of phase, I really don't remember. I rarely play the 2 pickups in the middle, so it's either always the bridge or the neck, and that's really all I need is a 2-way, toggle switch. Now, why don't they do a 7-way toggle switch, right? Humbucker, and then 1, and then 2, just this one. 3 would be 2 humbuckers. 4 would be the 2 outside pickups. 5 would be this one, and then 6 would be just a humbucker. Okay, so a 6-way toggle instead of a 7. I don't know how to count. 1, 3, 4. You have a Floyd Rose. It's not a Floyd Rose special. It just says Floyd Rose. It doesn't say Floyd Rose original, but it's just a Floyd Rose. You standard basic Floyd Rose. So I think they stopped stamping them with the original, because my Harley Benton has an original Floyd Rose on it, and I can't remember, unless you remember watching the video when I was reviewing it, if it said original Floyd Rose. But this is the Floyd Rose, and I don't know if I mentioned, plate in the back, 2 screws, because you don't have those slots where you can get the screwdriver in, which is a great idea. I wish all Floyd Roses would have that. So just to make it quick, I just take 2 screws out and I adjust it, because anyone that has a Floyd Rose knows what you got to go through to do a string change, or even after a while, a setup on it where you have to adjust it, something, whether you got to loosen these up and set the tuning here again, bring these threads up where they're centered, the whole bit. So let me see. I think this is cool because the color, and Steve Vai, that when he played in Crossroads with Ralph Macchio from the Karate Kid, which, believe it or not, lived down the road from me as well. I'm pretty sure it was a Jackson, but I think they covered the name up. But you could tell by the way the headstock was cut. It was a Jackson, and he's doing a wah 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 on there. And I loved his gem, the green gem. Now I had a couple of gems, original ones from the '80s that I don't have anymore. My dream gem was the green gem with the maple fingerboard and the disappearing pyramids. And I had the floral pattern gem. I had the the desert yellow gem. I had the green dipped gem, which I actually met the guy that did that for Steve Vai. Again, he lived on Long Island, and he did it out of a body shop. He had a 50-gallon drum with the water and the dye in there, and he would dip it right in. So I was at the body shop. I think it's the first or second time I've mentioned about me being at a body shop. I didn't work at a body shop. I worked, if you know, Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace. I started that for Safe Light Auto Glass. It was owned by Penn Glass, by Zeke Landers. And I started in Penn Glass at 1982. He's the same guy that owned Woodstock, the farm up north where the concert was. And then he sold out to Safe Light, which was in every state. He was just in New York State. And I was the third guy that got a hold of the mobile unit that was working out of the store, and I was the first out of the three that went to the warehouse, because my VP, that I happened to go to school with his son, and they wanted to have him in working out of a shop, like the district manager had. His main office had to be out of one of the shops on Long Island. So I wanted to be at the warehouse because I was going there all the time to get my stuff, and he wanted me there because then he could keep his office there. So after being in there and doubling the numbers in the with what I was doing, the way I set up my way with the trucks and all, they asked me to train VPs and district managers from other states because they wanted my mobile unit to run in every state. So I'm the guy that started the Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace mobile unit. So that's why, I was always on the road, and I had a lot of accounts, I had a lot of dealerships and body shops. So that's where I got to meet a lot of guys from the body shops, and that's again the guy that was doing the dips. I just happened to be in the body shop where his drum was sitting on the side there, and he was there one day, and I met him. It was pretty cool. But I had the green dip, and then I had the floral pattern blue one with the vines of life. All of them had the vines of life, and they were too busy. I couldn't read it. I have a problem with where I'm seeing, where I'm going. I need just standard marks where they're supposed to be. So these have the little pearl dot inlays. I wish they were a little fatter because it's without glasses and without that light on. I still have to read the side of the neck, but between the side and the front, I could pretty much know where I'm going because I'm always going either from the 12th fret up or the 12th fret down. Now is that, yeah, I guess if you start here and work your way up the neck, see that, you would think that this is the bottom and that's working your way up, but if you start here and you start working your way down, in the chords, I don't know. That's another argument. Leave a comment because I don't pay attention much to it. But so I'm always using the 12th marker to go either from the 12th to the 24th or 21 or 22, or the 12th down or up to the first fret. Well, I guess that answers the question. If this is the first fret, second fret, so you're going from the top. Again, if you go, see, it's confusing. I can't handle it. So yeah, I always liked the green, but you couldn't get them. I was lucky to find the other ones, and I found them used, and I was paying in that time in the '80s, early late, yeah, yeah, about late '80s, early '90s. You can get a gem for $400 to $600 now. If you have a made in Japan gem from '87 or something like that, they're worth a fortune. Now they had a guitar store that was killer. It came out of nowhere. Everyone was just going to local guitar stores or going to Sam Ash. You were forced to go nowhere else but Sam Ash, or travel into the city to 48 Guitar Street. It was just there was more than 5 guitar stores on 48th Street in Manhattan, and from Sam Ash to Rudy's to 48 Street Guitars, where you can get anything. And then all of a sudden, this guy Tom Lavaco from Long Island opens up Focus 2 Guitar Center guitar stores. He started in the 70s, and he actually had Steve Vai. Steve Vai used to come in and sell his CDs out of the store, and they were friends. Tom started I believe as a guitar teacher, and then opened up the store and then had a chain. He showed up in Patchogue, Long Island, and everyone in the Suffolk County area was like, going crazy over it. He had everything that you see in the MTV video that they're playing. Anything that was hot at the time, he had it. From Dean guitars to Ibanez, and every kind of effect that was hot at the time. And my buddy Dave was the manager in the Patchogue store. I used to train him, and Paul Cruz was a bass player that also worked in the store on the weekends, on Saturdays before the store opened up, and anyone else that worked there that wanted to be trained. Dave, I got the CD I have from Randy Coven. One of the 3 top Long Island bass players is Randy Coven, Steve Palmer, and Mike Frost. I got a CD that came from Randy Coven. It was given to Dave because Dave did one of those guitar star lick videos and played backup for him, and on the video, and where he's showing how to do solos, and he was the first one that I saw that had a bass with a tremolo, like a Floyd Rose on it. So I kind of knew Tom, but I wasn't friendly with Tom like I was with Dave. Dave and I knew one another. We hung out, but Tom knew me as the guy that knows Dave. And when he changed the name from Focus 2 to Music Emporium, he had a store in Comac, and I went in there one day, and he had the green gem with the maple disappearing pyramids, and I was drooling over this thing, and it said best offer, and I was like, what was your best offer? He says $3,500. Now, mind you, I was buying these for $400 to $600. $3,500. On the back, it was written from Steve I. Look, number 1, because the serial number was like 00001, and I was like, wow. Now I imagine that guitar is probably worth between $10,000 and $25,000 if he still has it. I'm not sure, but I've always liked that. So I like the green on here because it reminds me of that, a little bit of that, the gem kind of thing. And this is the closest I can get to it. Now I understand that, they made them again, and like it did a reissue, anniversary kind of thing. But they're up there though. I think they're still like $2,000-3,000. So I just refuse to spend that much money on a guitar anymore. Never again. Especially with what's coming out now, brand names like Jackson and other guitar manufacturers that are all like this one's being made in Korea. Then you have Vietnam and China and Taiwan, and it's all the same. It doesn't matter. But now you have Harley Benton the ones being made in the same plant, and I'm sure the other ones that are on Amazon, and I'm even sure that the Larry Carlton one, the Larry Carlton LP, that's a killer LP if you want to spend close to $500. I'd rather have that, spend money, that much money on that kind of guitar than a Gibson. They're all coming from the same place. So, you know, and they're very inexpensive. Just goes to show you how much Gibson and Fender is really ripping people off. Yeah, I don't care where it's made. I forgot where I was going with that, so I'm going to end it right there because I've been hitting the head too many times and I can't remember stuff. And it goes that quick. So have a good day and a better tomorrow. Come on, remote. That one. Nope. Okay, I'm just going to have to reach up and turn it off.